Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture number 6. In this lecture, I will talk about type conversion in C#. So first of all, I will discuss what is type conversion, then I will discuss the types of type conversion, which is implicit type conversion, explicit type conversion, which is also called typecasting. And then I will talk about conversion between non-compatible types, and at the end we will see some coding. So first of all, let me tell you what is actually type conversion. Type conversion is the conversion of the variable from one type to another type. Let's say you have integer type variable and you are converting the variable to string type, or you can say to long type. This is called type conversion. We have implicit type conversion here. In implicit type conversion, the types are compatible and no data loss will happen. Let's see this concept. You have a variable of byte type b and I am storing 1 into it. We know that byte have 1 byte of memory, and also I have another variable integer I is equal to b. I am assigning b to I. What I am doing, I am converting b to I. This is called implicit type conversion. Why? Because we know that integer have 4 bytes of memory. We can easily store 1 byte to 4 byte. So there is no chance of data loss. This is called an implicit type conversion. This conversion is done by the compiler automatically at compile time. Let's see another example. We have integer type variable I is equal to 1 and float f is equal to I. So we know that integer have 4 bytes of data, 4 bytes of memory, and float have 4 bytes of memory. We can easily store 4 byte to a 4 byte memory variable. Let's talk about explicit type conversion. In this conversion happens explicitly because there is a chance of data loss, and also the types are compatible in it. For example, you have integer type variable I is equal to 1 and I am storing I to b, which is of a byte type variable. We know that we cannot store 4 byte of data into 1 byte of variable because we will lose other 3 bytes. You can see the highlighted one, and the data loss will happen. This is called explicit type conversion. How we can do explicit type conversion? Let's see it with example. Here in second example, I am declaring integer I is equal to 300 and I am storing I into b. How I am converting it? I am prefixing the I variable, which is of integer type, with the targeted type variable, which is byte type. So this is called typecasting. Here you have another example. I have float type variable and I am storing into integer type. I am doing explicit type conversion by prefixing f with integer because I am converting the float type to integer type. So that's why I am prefixing the variable with targeted type. So let's see what is the conversion between non-compatible types. When types are non-compatible in C#, you cannot do conversion explicitly. We have two ways to convert the variables which are non-compatible. Let's see how we can do. For example, you have string type variable s and you are storing 1 into the string type variable. So we have two ways. Number one is the use of convert class, and number two is the use of parse method. Convert class is from system namespace, and we have different methods of convert class. For example, here I am using toInt, as you can see, to convert the string type variable to integer type. I am passing string as an argument, and this integer method will convert string to integer for us. We have another method, integer.parse. This method will parse the string type to integer type. Every primitive data type have parse method by using which you can convert the variables between non-compatible types. Here we have some other methods from convert class. toByte to convert the string to byte, toInt 16 to convert the integer to show type. Why we have 16 here? We know that short have 2 byte memory and 2 bytes mean 16 bits, so that's why we have 16 here. Number third, we have do int 32, which is for integer. And why we have 32? Because integer is of 4 byte. 4 byte contains 32 bits of memory. Similarly, for long, we have 2 int 64 method. So that's it for the slides. Let's see the examples. Let's see how implicit type conversion happens in C#. As I said, this conversion will automatically done by the compiler. First of all, I will declare integer type variable x and byte b is equal to 1 and store the byte to a integer. So as you can see, I am declaring byte type variable and I am storing it to integer type variable. Let's console the variable x and run the application. Okay guys, here you go. You can see I just console integer type variable, which is x, and I stored b, which is of a byte type, to integer type variable. You can see we have exact value that I stored in byte type. So this implies that data loss will never happen in implicit type conversion, and this conversion is done by compiler automatically. Okay, now let's declare another variable integer n 200 and store it to a float type variable. Okay, now console f. In this example, you can also see I stored integer type variable to float type, and both have 4 bytes of memory. So in this case also no data loss will happen. You can see we have exact data that I stored in integer type variable. Okay, now let's practice explicit type conversion. How we can do explicit type conversion? How we can do that? Let's say we have integer type variable. Sorry, this time we go with float. Float fl is equal to 1.2f, and let's store it into integer type variable fl. So how we can tell the compiler that we are explicitly converting the float type to integer type? You have to prefix the variable with target type. So we are targeting integer type variable, we will prefix it with int. So this is called type casting. Now let's console this variable also. Okay, now first understand the concept of explicit type conversion. In this conversion, types are compatible and there is a chance of data loss. So let's see if data loss will happen or not. Okay, here you go. You can see console is displaying us 1, but the actual value is 1.2. We lost some data. This is called explicit type conversion. Okay, let's see another example. Integer number is equal to 300 and another variable byte, and store the number into byte. We have to typecast this variable to convert the integer to byte. Now console the variable bt. Now let's see in this explicit type conversion, let's see if data losses or not. Here you go. I am storing integer type variable to byte type. We have 300 in integer type variable and I am storing exact variable to byte type. But in this case, data losses. This is called explicit type conversion. Okay guys, now let's see the conversion between non-compatible types. For example, you have string type variable. String s is equal to 300. As you know that we have two ways to convert between non-compatible types. Number one is you can use convert class, as I'm using convert class, and for long you have two int 64 method, and this method will take string as an argument. Okay, now let's console this variable. Console.writeLine. Here you go. We can see we have successfully converted string to long. Okay, now let's practice it with parse method. Keep in mind that every primitive data type have parse method which takes string as an argument, and you can easily convert the variable string type variable to the target type. So here we have parse method and I pass string as an variable. Here you go. You can see we have successfully converted the string type variable to the long type. Okay guys, that's it for this lecture. See you in the next lecture.